Free Comic Book Day is a yearly event that's essentially a second Christmas for comic book lovers, where publishers put out free books that are distributed by local shops. The cool part is that it's not just Western comics that are given away. There are manga and even manhwa represented too. I decided to review each manga or manhwa issue from this year based on the art and the writing, with the goal to see if they would get me interested in reading a full series. First up is a sample of the manhwa Solo Leveling, which I've been hearing great things about for a long time but haven't had the chance to check out yet. Let's start by talking about the art. I haven't read too many manhwa yet, but Solo Leveling's art seems to be pretty complex compared to most others I've seen. There's a lot of detail in the backgrounds, which I think get overlooked a lot of the time considering how quick a chapter of a manhwa is to read usually. The few action sequences that are in this sample portray the motion and the sense of danger well too. The characters are nicely drawn, but I don't think their designs are overly distinctive. Also, sometimes there's a white border around characters and sometimes there's not, which I found a bit weird. And I don't think a manhwa works as well in print as it does reading it on a phone, since the empty spaces between panels are way more apparent. As for the writing, I think Solo Leveling starts off well. It's a little exposition-y at the beginning, but it soon transitions from narration to more nuanced interactions between characters that shed light on how the main character is perceived. The plot is about Jin Woo-sung, the weakest of a group of hunters who fight creatures in dungeons. It's not the most original setup in the world, but it is unique in that it's in a modern setting where stories like this are usually medieval. The story also isn't rushing. Rather than go straight into a dungeon from the start, we get to learn more about various other hunters and their motivations first. So, would I continue reading Solo Leveling based on the Free Comic Book Day preview? Yes. I've been meaning to get into this one for a while, and getting a taste here is the excuse I needed. Next up is Rent a Really Shy Girlfriend. I enjoy the main Rent a Girlfriend series, though I've only watched the anime. This is a spin-off based on the character Sumi, who's a rental girlfriend yet has extreme social anxiety and doesn't like talking to others. Sumi hasn't appeared much in the Rent a Girlfriend anime yet, so I was interested to learn more about her. First, let's discuss the art. What stood out to me the most is how many different reaction faces Sumi has in the manga. Every little interaction has her terrified, sad, or flushed with embarrassment or nervousness, and in between those, she has a cute face of determination to overcome her struggles. There's hardly a neutral expression anywhere, which I think helps us to really get to know her character. There are also some gorgeous full-page illustrations that I feel like you could use as a poster. The one negative I will say is that other than the full-page pictures, there's not too much variety in the way the panels are laid out. Now for the writing. I think it's fantastic so far. The chapter does an excellent job of realistically portraying someone with extreme social anxiety. Sumi's goal is the simple task of getting a donut from the donut shop, but we get to see how every little thing impacts her mental state. For example, she's afraid that getting out of line when they don't have the donut she wants will make her look weird, and she spends multiple pages calculating the optimal place to sit. This is an effective way to start the manga because if something as simple as getting a donut is a struggle for her, it makes readers wonder how she can possibly be a rental girlfriend. Overall, this preview definitely got me interested in reading the series, though I might end up reading the main Rent-A-Girlfriend manga first before going into the spin-off. Next is Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. I've been interested in checking out this zombie manga ever since Giga did a video on it, so this was a good opportunity for me to check it out. This is a rather short sample, about half as long as the others, because it's bundled together with the preview of Demon Slayer. I'm only going to review the Zom 100 part though, because I already know the basics of Demon Slayer, though I haven't gotten around to it yet. Zom 100's art is pretty eye-catching. It has a rich variety of angles for the perspective, and varies the size and shape of panels used a lot more than the other two previews so far. There's a lot of detail shown to the zombies and the chaos and destruction around the city as the apocalypse unfolds. The main character has a really distinctive face too, with dark circles under his eyes and an expressive mouth. Honestly, I don't really have any complaints about the art, and it totally immerses me in the world. As for the plot, the zombie genre is an oversaturated niche right now, but somehow people keep managing to make it stay fresh. This manga seems like it will be comedic, as the main character's reaction to seeing the city in chaos and zombies eating people is to be overjoyed that he has an excuse to not go to work for the day. Also, unlike in most zombie fiction, the concept of zombies actually does exist in this world, and the main character instantly recognizes them as zombies. I love the idea of focusing on a character who's just concerned with having fun during the zombie apocalypse rather than being scared and depressed. I do wonder if the plot will take a darker turn later, though. After seeing the preview of Zom 100, I've gone from mildly interested in reading it at some point to very invested in what's going to happen. Lastly, I want to talk about Space Pirate Captain Harlock, which is a sequel to a 1970s manga that has been adapted into anime and a movie. This issue is structured like Western comics, read left to right, and I have to say, I'm really not impressed with it. Starting off with the art, it's a mixed bag. There is a lot of detail given to the backgrounds, and every inch of each page is filled with color. At the same time, the impressiveness of the setting really clashes with the character designs. Some of the characters look normal, while others are goofy looking. It seems like there are a whole bunch of aesthetics mashed together without being unified. The mood seems to be serious overall, but the designs really pull me out of that. That said, even if I don't like parts of the art, it's still skillfully drawn, and I wouldn't dismiss the series because of it. What I really don't like, though, is the writing. We get 2 chapters of the story in this preview, and the writing is a mess. It's all either heavy-handed exposition through narration, or through characters stating the obvious to each other in their dialogue and telling each other things they should already know. Every character has absurdly formal speech, and not a single conversation throughout the whole thing feels natural. There's even stuff like characters casually calling each other by their full name just so that the audience learns their names, which sounds really weird and could have just been accomplished with a non-dialogue box showing their name. Honestly, I have zero interest in continuing this comic series, which is a shame because the setting looks decently cool. Although Free Comic Book Day is over, there's a chance your local comic book store may have some extra copies left over, so it doesn't hurt to ask if you're interested in any of these preview books. There were plenty of other great books to enjoy too, including ones based on Western animation like The Legend of Korra and Avatar. Thanks for watching! If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing for weekly content. I'm Matrix from Matrix AM, Anime, and more, and I hope you have a great day.